Welcome to the Bucs Gambling Show on the internet. This is the home of the money pick. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. Week 9 NFL picks coming your way. And I have to say, I am feeling brilliant coming into this week. Our goal is to go 4-0 on the money picks. Like this sign up, make it rain, leave a comment. Let's get this money. First game, Thursday Night Football. We got the Houston Texans at the New York Jets. Texans +2. Texans winning the cover. Listen, I get it. We want to fade the Jets. We want to get against the Jets, but I'm not trying to force something that isn't there. I am a little bit nervous about the situation of the Texans wide receivers. There's not going to be any Nico Collins. Stephon Diggs will not play the rest of the year. And I have to say, man, I know the Jets have been a huge disappointment. It seems like every single time they're about to pull away with a victory, every single time they're about to make a big play, there's a stupid play, there's a penalty, there's a turnover. But I do want to add caution because I know everyone wants to bet Houston. Hell, I want to bet Houston. I am so tempted to just put the house on them. But I do want to say Rodgers is playing better than people think. But my issue with this game, why I think the Texans win and cover, is because I'm not sure this Jets front seven can stop the Texans run game. One thing the Texans have done the last 3 or 4 weeks is just absolutely pound teams into oblivion. And I'm not sure, even with Hassan Riddick back, we know McDonald's playing great on the other edge. I'm not sure the Jets can get pressure on Stroud. So I think we see a lot of Joe Mixon. I think we see a lot of play action. And I think we see Stroud still be able to make plays even though the Texans offense is shorthanded. And I'm going to go back to one thing. If this is a close game, count on the Jets to choke it away. I know they have nothing to lose at this moment, but their coaching is so poor they can't kick a field goal. Give me the Texans to win in the cover on the road in the Meadowlands. Next game, NFC East. We got the Washington No-Names at the New York Giants. Commanders -3.5. Money, money, money. Money, do not overthink this, please. I get it. Everyone's expecting Daniels to come back down to earth, and we haven't seen a rookie perform this way. I think he's even been better than Stroud, and we know how good Stroud was his rookie year. But one thing I want to say when I analyze this game is it's not about Daniels. It's not about this Washington offense that has been excellently coached by Cliff Kingsbury. This is about the Washington defense. I feel like they've gotten really fast and attacking the last 3 weeks. And I have to tip my cap to Dan Quinn. And I think that's the difference. And I'm seeing this Giants offensive line revert to old habits. Andrew Thomas out. And I think guys like Luvu and other edge rushers for the no-names will be able to get pressure on Daniel Jones. And when we talk about Daniel Jones, we talk about a guy we like to fade. And let's go back to 2 weeks ago against the Eagles. Everyone was saying the sharps are on the Giants. Don't take the Eagles, Lawson. Why are you so crazy about Sirianni? I just think when you combine this Giants offense with the minuscule talent of Daniel Jones, they are a pure liability. And I don't want you to overthink this. Daniels will make more plays than Jones. And we have to be honest, man. I know the Commanders won with that Hail Mary. It was absolutely brilliant. But I felt like they dominated that game against the Bears, and we saw Daniels take a lot of hits, even some in the ribs, and he stood in there, and I felt like he was good. Another week for him to get better in that area. I think Daniels plays well. Give me the no-names, -3.5. Make it a damn money pick. Next game, we got the New England Patriots at the Tennessee Titans. Patriots +3.5. Patriots to win in the cover. Now, this is with a big caveat. If Drake May plays, I'm probably going to bet this. But if Drake May plays, this is going to move down to +3, maybe +2.5. I am worried about the Titans right now. And we know both teams, they can't block anyone. The weakness of the Patriots is their offensive line. The weakness of the Titans is their offensive line. But I actually think the Patriots are showing signs of improvement. They showed life against the Jets, and they hung in there even though they were dominated at times. But this game, why I mentioned Drake May, I'm not trying to weasel my way out of making a pick. But if Drake May's in there, we've already seen this kid adds verb. And we know the offensive line can't block anyone. But one thing Drake May isn't easy to do is keep in the pocket. And if you give me Will Levis or Rudolph or Drake May, I'm going Drake May. And I'm worried about this Titans team. This Titans defense has been pretty excellent the whole year. And what do they have to show for it? Absolutely nada. Give me the Patriots to win in the cover on the road with the upset. Next game, we got the Los Angeles Chargers at the Cleveland Browns. Browns +2. When I saw the Browns +3, even on some books it was +3.5, I wanted to bet it. My trigger finger was itchy, so to speak. But give me the Chargers to win in the cover. I just think the Chargers are the better overall team, and the Chargers are a team I trust on the road. Now, you do worry about this Chargers wide receiving core. There's not a lot of explosive plays. We saw Herbert go off against the Saints, but Herbert was also excellent against the Cardinals, and what did they have to show for it? But look at this Browns defensive injury list. Their best linebacker might miss the game. Denzel Ward gets another concussion, and there's still a ton of injuries on this Browns offensive line. And I'll tell you one thing, I was so happy to see famous Jameis Winston absolutely ball out. It was one of the funnest things to watch this weekend. But I'm not sure the Browns have a run game at all. And they did have a little bit of a run game against the Ravens. I'm not sure they're going to be able to create space and give Jameis enough time. And that's the big reason. I think the Chargers are a team that's better fundamentally. They're better coached. Give me the Chargers -2, winning cover. This is a close one, though. I know everyone wants to bet this game. I know a lot of people are on the Chargers. A lot of people are on the Browns. I would just lay off of this, fellas. Next game, we got the New Orleans Saints at the Carolina Panthers. Panthers +7. I got the Saints to win, Panthers to cover. And I've been the biggest Bryce Young detractor there is. But I got to be honest, I watched the Denver film earlier today, and it was one of his better games in this league. And it does look like the Panthers are getting healthier. They just traded another wide receiver, so don't expect too much out of this Panthers offense. But one thing we can expect out of this Panthers offense is I think you can run the ball on the Saints. This defense is firstly, they're injured, they're beaten down mentally, and I think that's where the Panthers can get at them. A Chuba Hubbard player prop special incoming. Now, Saints will still win the game. Carr coming back is absolutely massive. Yes, the Panthers are getting healthier on defense this week. Is that going to be enough for an upset? Absolutely not. I think the Saints win this game by 4 or 5 points. Panthers cover, Saints win. And also, I know the Panthers home crowd, no one really goes to the game. There isn't a lot of noise when there are people there. But I don't think it's the easiest trip in the world. And what are the Saints fighting for? Laying 7 with a team that doesn't have a lot to fight for is very dangerous. Panthers cover, Saints win. Next game, we got the Chicago Bears, the Bears, at the Arizona Cardinals. Pick 'em. Money, money, money. Borderline with caution here. With caution, this is dangerous. You're playing with fire. Cardinals winning the cover, make it a damn money pick. And listen, it is dangerous. And I don't want to be too simplistic. Obviously, the Bears have the better defense. I was impressed by how they were able just to wear down the Commanders' offense, even though that Commanders' offense had rhythm and gusto at times. And we know this Bears secondary can play, and that's what you need to do to match up against Zona. When you got Harrison, he finally played good. When you got McBride. But I think this game comes down to who's better, Kyler Murray or Caleb Williams. And give me Kyler Murray. And Kyler Murray's had a really up and down season. You watch a 4-quarter game of him, you'll see 2 quarters of good football, 2 quarters of absolutely horrendous football. But I think his scrambling ability, his big play ability is the difference. And I'm not saying Caleb Williams is a bust or anything like that, but I did feel like he let that team down, and he's getting an easier defense. We know Zona doesn't have a pass rush. We know they like to sit back and cover 4, and they really like to be passive on defense, bend but don't break. But I also think without a good run game, the Bears are not going to win this game. And we have to comprehend that this Zona home field advantage is real. Give me the Cardinals winning the cover in a pick'em situation, borderline money pick. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. Get on Patreon. We were 3-1 on Sunday. Let's get this money. Link in the description. Next game, we got the Denver Broncos at the Baltimore Ravens. Ravens -9. Ravens winning the cover. And I get it. Sean Payton on the road with Vance Joseph at defensive coordinator. A Broncos defense that is playing out of their minds. They're physical, well-coached, zone blitzes. Ravens offense struggled at times against the Browns, but I think this is a bounce-back game for the Ravens. They got a big acquisition from Carolina at wide receiver. I think that's what Lamar needs, especially with all those drop passes. But I think most importantly, the Ravens are going to get back to what they were doing 2, 3, 4 weeks ago. They're going to run the ball with King Henry, and that's what they're going to establish. We know the Broncos defense is very good against the run, but I do think the Ravens will find lanes and creases. I think Lamar's playing at his highest level he's ever played in this league, and I know that's saying a lot, and I think that makes a big difference. And on the other side, what do the Broncos have on offense? Now, I get it. Bo Nix had a great day against the Panthers, but outside of Cortland Sutton, who is there to throw to? And we were watching kind of like a college football game. Bo Nix would get in the shotgun with 4 wide receivers. He'd look at one guy, and he'd just force the ball to Cortland Sutton. We know this Ravens pass defense is suspect. We know this Ravens defense has underperformed this year, but here's 2 basic things. I don't think Bo Nix can exploit it. I don't think he has the dogs to exploit it if someone covers Cortland Sutton. And thirdly, I'm not sure the Broncos run the ball. The Ravens have one of the better run defenses in the league. That's why I'm going Ravens to win in the cover. They're due for a big win. And it's just, I want everyone. Listen, I get the fundamentals of taking the Broncos +9. They've covered these big spreads absolutely brilliant this year. But you better tiptoe in, because I'm going Ravens winning the cover, laying the 9. Next game, we got the Miami Dolphins at the Buffalo Bills. Bills -6. Money, money, money. Money. Dipping the toe in again. Bills winning the cover, making a money pick. Listen, I felt like Tua was brilliant at times for the Dolphins. But at a certain point, Tua is not the problem with the Dolphins. I see coaching issues. I see Anthony Weaver as defensive coordinator as a little bit of a problem. And I also see a Bills team that has something special. And a lot of people were adding caution to us when we backed the Bills last week. And for me to back the Bills, that says a lot. But when the Bills are able to run the ball, this offense just becomes almost unstoppable. And I'm not sure Miami will stop the run. They were very good against Connor. They were very good against Zona, who's known to run it pretty good this year. But I'm not sure Miami can do it. And then you got Josh Allen versus Tua. We saw a lot of sloppy mistakes out of the Miami Dolphins offense. Like, we saw a fumbled snap that ended up being a safety. I think we saw 3 or 4 fumbled snaps overall. I trust the Bills to win the turnover battle here. And, when you think of Josh Allen, you think of turnovers. But this year, he's played really clean and sound football. And I think this Amari Cooper edition is going to reign brighter and just be a bigger factor every single week he gets ingrained in this offense. Give me the Bills -6. Make it a damn money pick. Also, I just think this Bills defense is out of their mind right now. And one of the biggest weaknesses of this Miami team is that offensive line. I think Rousseau has a big day. I think Ed Oliver, if healthy, is going to be breathing on Tua. And you know what the Dolphins have to do. They have to get out of Tua's hands quick. They can't leave him back there for obvious reasons. I'm sure you guys understand why. Next game, we got the Las Vegas Raiders at the Cincinnati Bengals. Raiders +7.5. Raiders to cover, Bengals to win. Not a lot of science here. Because, listen, I'm not going to beat my chest for, the Eagles pick on the upset video. I had the Browns on the upset video as well. But every single day I woke up, I changed my mind on that Bengals-Eagles game. But I think the Raiders cover, and I had them to cover last week. And Antonio Pierce is the type of guy, he will play for a cover. And this Bengals defense just isn't good enough. They might look good at times against the Giants, against the Raiders. But I think the Raiders' run game with Minshew on the play action is enough. And we got Brock Bowers absolutely killing this league in his rookie season. And I trust this Raiders defense. I trust them to be physical. And I'm just not seeing enough development. I'm not seeing enough downfield plays from this Bengals offense. I got the Raiders to cover, Bengals to win. Not a lot of science. I got to just ask you a question in the comment section. Do you trust the Bengals to lay 7.5 against anyone other than Carolina? Next game, we got the Dallas Cowboys at the Atlanta Falcons. Kirk. Cowboys +2.5. Cowboys winning the cover. Upset. I mean, I've been on Atlanta every single week this year. And they made me look silly against the Hawks, but I feel like their performance and record is deserved, and I'm going to win that future bet for the NFC South. But I feel like this is an Alamo performance from the Cowboys. And here's the reason why. I do think the Cowboys will be able to run it a little bit, and that's what this offense has been missing. We know the scripted first quarter, first drives have been absolutely horrendous for Dallas, and that's inexcusable, and it comes down to coaching. But you want to talk about coaching? I feel like Raheem Morris has managed to make this Falcons defense just completely irrelevant. At least last year, they were average to above average at times. They add more talent. They get better at all 3 levels. Yet this Atlanta defense is the bottom 7, bottom 8 defense in this league. I'm not sure how they're going to deal with CeeDee Lamb. I know you got Justin Bates. I know you got Simmons. I know you got A.J. Terrell at corner, but point stands. I'm not sure how they're going to deal with them. And this Falcons defense is absolutely rubber. And I think Dak has a big game. And I'm not sure the Cowboys are going to go away. We know the Cowboys are a complete joke. But if they get Parsons, if they get Bland back on defense, I think they can do enough. And listen, the Falcons did not play bad offensively against the Seahawks. They really didn't, but the game flow got the other direction on them because that defense can't stop anyone. And I know this Dallas offense has underperformed this year, but I think they can get enough explosion against the Falcons team that can't get a pass rush. And even though they got a good secondary, they can't really cover anyone. Cowboys winning the cover in the upset, not going to be popular. Next game, we got the Detroit Lions, Dan Campbell at the Green Bay Packers. Lions -3.5. I got the Lions to win in the cover, but this isn't the money pick you expect. But I do like the Lions money line, and I normally won't go that direction. Listen, I do think this Packers team is good, man. And I get the intention wanting to back the Lions, and we've done it. That's how we built this channel since Dan Campbell came into this league as head coach of the Lions. But I do think this Packers team will be able to match this Lions defense. And one thing you need to do against the Lions is you need to be able to create separation against their man-to-man defense. I think Love will do that. And like I said, I think the Lions win like a 27-24, 30-27 game. And I am worried about the Lions still because we've yet to see them replace Aiden Hutchinson. And I think in a game like this against Jordan Love has not looked good the last 3 weeks. Let's be honest about it. But I do think he comes back strong. And I do think there's some vulnerabilities in the secondary. I still got the Lions to win in the cover. Actually, give me the Packers to cover, Lions to win. It opened at +1. So obviously your boy was ready to pound it. And I wake up this morning and it's at -3.5 for the Lions. Lions win, Packers cover. We'll talk more about this game as the week goes on. Next game, we got the Jacksonville Jags at the Philadelphia Eagles. Jags +7.5. Jags cover, Eagles win. Man, I loved the Eagles this year, and I felt like Sirianni barking out that fan would be a galvanizing force, and so far it proves it. But I got the Jags to cover, Eagles to win. There isn't a lot of science, but one thing I like about the Eagles, they're just dedicated to pounding people now. They're going back to 2 years ago. They're going to run it at 55, 58% of the time and get the ball out of Hurts' damn hands without him holding it for 5-6 seconds. Now, but I do think this Eagles defense has made strides, but we've also seen Lawrence play better the last 3 weeks. Give me the Jags to cover, Eagles to win. It's just not a lot you can do here with the +7.5. Like, if this gets down the Jags +6, I could see the Eagles winning this by a touchdown easy. Next game, we got the Los Angeles Rams at the Seattle Seahawks. Rams -1.5. Money. Rams winning the cover. I've been saying it the whole year. The Hawks cannot stop the run. Even in a game that was a pass-first game between the Falcons and Seahawks, the Falcons still got 180, 190 rush yards while chasing the game. And I'm not sure they can stop the run. And it's the same thing I said last week in that Bills-Hawks matchup. If you let a good quarterback have a run game like Josh Allen, like Matt Stafford, they're going to brutalize you. And ask Brian Flores what happened to his defense. And somehow, some way, even with all the offensive line injuries of the Los Angeles Rams, they're still able to run the ball. They're still able to protect Matt Stafford. Here's another thing that's pivotal in this game. DK Metcalf's health. You saw how much Geno Smith needed him out there. And I also think here's a low-key matchup why I love this Rams -1.5. I've been saying it the whole year. I think the Seahawks offensive line is terrible. They're decent at run blocking, but they're absolutely a liability pass blocking. We got a young Rams defensive line, maybe Florida State's defensive line if you want to go back to college, that I think will be able to get enough pressure on Geno, and I think the Rams are a much better coached team. Give me the Rams -1.5, winning the cover, making the damn money pick. They also get better quarterback play, and the extra rest off Thursday night is so damn important. It's so damn valuable. Rams. Next game, we got the Indianapolis Colts. Flacco at my Minnesota Vikings. Colts +5.5. Colts cover, Vikings win. Listen, I was ready to hit the money pick. Ready to get this one up on Patreon. And then right before I was about to record the video, Anthony Richardson finally benched. Like, I think Flacco is a galvanizing force. And we're seeing this Vikings team fade a little bit on defense like they did last year. I think the Vikings win by a field goal. I actually really like the Colts to cover. Now, here's why. What have I been saying all year about how to attack a Brian Flores defense? You have to run the ball at them and you have to slam it down their throat. We saw JT get going last week, and I think that's the start of something special. I would not be surprised if the Colts stole this game on the road. We know going into Minneapolis isn't an easy place to play, but I just think this Vikings defense is regressing, and I'm not sure they're going to stop the run. Now, the Colts don't have the receivers that the Rams had, but I think they'll be able to create separation. I got the Vikings to win, Colts to cover. But like I said, I would not be surprised by an upset here. Same thing I said about the Browns-Ravens. Next game, we got the Tampa Bay Bucs at the Kansas City Chiefs. Bucs +9. Bucs cover. Chiefs win. Man, I think another week of D-Hop will revitalize this Chiefs offense. But I watched that game against the Raiders, and I got the Bucs to cover. I think the Bucs are very well coached offensively. I love their scheme. I love their offensive coordinator, Cohen, and I love Baker Mayfield's gusto this year. Yes, he had the 2 turnovers. But one thing I want everyone to look at in this game more than the spread is you got to look at the over. Make sure you check out that over-under video because this Bucs defense is playing at a really low level. We know this Chiefs defense might be the best defense they've had in the Reid Mahomes era. I think this is another systematic Chiefs performance where they grind through a game where we don't see the best of Patty Mahomes. Give me the Bucs to cover, Chiefs to win. I really like the Bucs to cover. It's just, do I want to make a money pick against the Chiefs 2 straight weeks? I don't. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. The best gambling show on the internet, Patreon, $5 a month. We're going to get paid this week. Are you ready?